Hey everyone, this is George Dmitrovic with the WRX Property Group, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 home improvement tips to instantly increase your home's value. Let's check them out. So when it comes to renovating your property, there's definitely things that you should be doing that are going to add a lot of value to it, and there's things that you should definitely avoid doing just because it's going to cost a lot of money and you're not going to get that money back. Of course, some of those things, if you're planning on staying in the home for a long time, they just might be features and benefits that you want. And in that case, that makes sense to do it. But this is more so for anyone that's looking to add value to their property. So they're maybe doing their rentals on a budget. They just want to do a small number of things. They're just trying to stick to a list of things that are definitely going to increase the value of your home. And the number one thing on that list is painting your home. This is always number one on my list for home improvement tips. It's quick, it's easy, it's cheap. You can do it yourself, you can pay somebody else to do it, but it just refreshes the home, gives it a whole new vibe, makes it look a lot nicer, makes it look a lot more presentable to buyers when they're coming through. It makes it easier for people to picture their own things in there. So that's why painting is my number one tip. People usually ask me, what kind of color should I go for? Something neutral and natural is the best way to go for it. So like a light gray or like a beige or somewhere in between, eggshell white, that type of stuff. Don't do any crazy colors like yellows or greens or purples. I mean, that's great for you if that's what you want to have in your bedroom, but when your home is going on the market, you want it to appeal to the most number of people possible, and the best way to do that is to have something neutral so that people can envision their own things in there, and it's just nice and easy. They're not walking away remembering the paint. That's kind of the key thing, is you don't want people to remember the color of the house. If it's nice and neutral, blends into the background, that's perfect. Now, I know a lot of you out there are saying, hey, I don't want to paint, I don't want to pick the color for the people, they should be able to pick their own color, and I hear you, they probably aren't going to keep the color that you paint the house with, but the issue is that most buyers don't see past the paint. So if you come in and the walls are yellow, they're going to remember it as that yellow house. They can't picture it as a neutrally colored house or whatever color that they want to have. Most people aren't designers, they're not stagers, they can't think past it. Maybe 5%, 10% of the people will be able to see past it, but your average buyer is going to be completely put off. So if you want to increase your home's value, let's go out there, get a nice neutral color, paint the house, refresh it, paint all the casings and the doors and everything, give everything a nice brand new pop, and immediately you're going to see results. The number 2 tip is upgrading the lighting where possible. So go throughout the house, replace the old lighting fixtures, like the old boob lights that they have in all the rooms, anything that looks really dated. But you don't have to go over the top either. Just make sure it fits the house. So if you have an older home with some character, maybe put in something that kind of matches the style of the property. Whereas if you have a newer property, maybe you want to go with something ultra modern and slick and flat. But a nice bright space really makes a difference. It makes the room look a lot bigger, and it presents your home in a better light. Whereas if you have those old lights, they're kind of dull, they're yellow, the room looks dark and small, it really doesn't help you out much. So light fixtures, you can get some really nice light fixtures for anywhere $50 to $100. Amazon, Wayfair, Home Depot, Lowe's, all those places have them. So spend a little bit of money, go through the house, update all the light fixtures. It's gonna make a world of a difference, I promise. Number 3 on the list is upgrading all of your hardware. So that's your light switches, outlets, doorknobs, faucets, things along those lines. Especially if you have an older house, you probably have like yellowish light switches and outlets. Just swap those out for nice white bright ones. They're really gonna fit in well with that new paint color. Everything's gonna look modern, it's not gonna look old and stale. If you have some old doorknobs or door handles, just replace those, or if they're scratched up, just get something a little bit more modern looking. And then same with your faucets and your taps. All that stuff is not that expensive, but it really makes a difference. It changes the way that your kitchen or your bathroom looks, or the entrance into your bedrooms. It goes from being completely out of style and out of date to something nice and modern. And most people aren't going to go through the house and say, wow, the door handles look so nice. I can't believe they upgraded this. I'm gonna pay $10,000 more. It's one of those things that doesn't get noticed, but it's just a part of the experience. Whereas if you have the old crystal doorknobs and something very outdated, that's definitely going to get noticed. And they're gonna say, oh, we're gonna have to update all the fixtures and this and that. So you just upgrade those, fits in really nicely, nice white light switches so that it fits in with the paint. It's gonna make your property pop. Number 4 on the list is upgrading your kitchen. Now you don't have to go out there and get a brand new $30,000, $40,000 kitchen. You can work with what you got, or maybe update it with something reasonable just to make sure that you're getting your money back for the input. Because if you put a $40,000, $50,000 kitchen in with all the nicest, highest upgrades, you're not really going to see a return on that investment. But if you put in something that's nice, that didn't cost you too much, you're definitely going to see a return on your investment on those. And you know, sometimes you might just see a dollar for dollar return, but your home is going to sell that much quicker because the kitchen has been upgraded, and that's a win, because at the end of the day, time is money. There's really 3 things that you should be looking at upgrading in your kitchen. Your appliances should be newer. They don't have to be brand new, but you don't really want to have really old appliances in there either. And then your countertops and your backsplash. So if you want to get a quartz or a granite or something, or if you don't have a backsplash, just putting a backsplash on makes a huge difference in a kitchen, and it's not that expensive. And then the other thing that you want to look at is your cupboards. So you don't have to go in and put in whole new cupboards. You can have it refaced, just update the hardware on them. It's going to look really nice, and when people come through the home, they're going to feel like they can move in, they can purchase it without having to do any work on their own, and it's going to help your home sell a lot quicker, and you're going to get top dollar for the property. So again, don't go over the top on the kitchen, but definitely make sure that you're upgrading some of those things that might be out of date, such as your backsplash, your appliances, and your cupboards or countertops. Number 5 on the list is your flooring, and this is especially true if you have carpets. So carpets are completely out. Nobody really wants to have carpets in their properties. Everybody wants to be carpet free, and one of the best ways to do so is laminate flooring. So laminate flooring is super nice these days. Sometimes you can't even tell it apart from hardwood flooring, and it's also very cost effective. For example, Golden Select at Costco is $2.67 a square foot. That's Canadian. It's a great way to update the space and make it feel a lot nicer, and especially when it's flowing from room to room. So when you have the same flooring throughout an entire level, it makes the space look a lot bigger. Whereas if your flooring changes from room to room, it actually makes the place look a lot smaller. So just go out there, you know, spend a few $1,000s, put in some laminate. It's really easy to put in yourself. If you have a little bit of know-how, it just kind of clicks together, and you're really gonna see that return on investment. I'm gonna say you're gonna get $2 to $3 for every dollar you spend on flooring. But whatever you do, just make sure you get rid of that carpet, and it's gonna look fabulous. So if your inside looks great, you gotta make sure that the outside looks great. So landscaping is a big one. Make sure your grass is cut, the bushes are all trimmed, there's mulch where it needs to be, everything's nice and clean and tidy on the outside. If it looks great inside, it should look great outside. That way the whole thing comes together, and really the buyer has a great experience going through your property. They say curb appeal is important. It is. Most people kind of make up their mind on people and things within the first 10 to 15 seconds of seeing it. And the first place that they're gonna see is the outside. So if your outside looks great and they come inside and the inside looks great, you're likely going to have a sale very quickly and for a really, really high price. Number 7 is staging your property. Guys, I can't stress enough how important this is, and a lot of people don't do it. There's such a big difference between properties that are staged and ones which are not staged. It's really worth the money. So if you're looking to have your whole home staged, say it's vacant, putting in all the furniture and everything, it's a few $1,000s that you're looking to invest, but it makes a big difference at the end of the day. It kind of gives the buyers an idea of what the home should look like. They don't have to imagine the furniture on their own, which most people can't do. If they're walking to an empty house, all they see is an empty house. They can't really see furniture there. So when you place the furniture there, it really gives them an idea of what can be done with the space. And then on top of it, the stagers are very experienced. So they're gonna design it in a way that really the place is gonna flow together. It's gonna highlight all the important features. It's gonna detract from some of the negative features, and it's gonna be a great overall experience for people that go through it. If you don't wanna, move out all of your furniture and get all new staging furniture in there, it's still important to work with a staging company where they're gonna do a consultation, and they're gonna help you stage your place with the furniture that's already existing there. So they're gonna change it around because what's convenient and what works for you and your lifestyle isn't necessarily going to highlight all of the features of the home. So they're gonna move some things around, they're gonna tell you to remove certain items, and it's just gonna look so much better. Staging, 100% the most important thing you have to do, and it's the one thing that a lot of people don't want to do because they think, well, my home looks fine as it is, I live in here, it works for me. I understand that, but it's not just about whether it works for you. We want to make it appeal to as many buyers as possible, and we want to highlight all the features and benefits. And most people don't live in a staged home. It's kind of inconvenient to live in a staged home, but when you're selling your property, it's a product, and you really want to make sure that it looks like the top-notch product that it is. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed, if there's anything that you think I should have added, or any points that you disagree with. And if you found it helpful, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.